The Breonna Taylor case has drawn protests nationwide and anguish calls for justice, especially since it was announced that no police officers would be charged in her death. The officers who opened fire that night are Jonathan Mattingly, Miles Cosgrove, and Brett Hankinson. Now, Hankinson was fired, and he's been charged with wanton endangerment for shooting into another home where, by the way, no one was injured. He has pleaded not guilty on that. We spoke with Breonna Taylor's boyfriend exclusively, Kenneth Walker, about what happened that night, along with his attorneys. They have now filed a lawsuit and are alleging a cover-up. They explained to us why they are accusing Louisville police of trying to frame their client. When you heard the results from the Attorney General Daniel Cameron, the one person who was charged, it wasn't for the death of Breonna Taylor. It was for firing the shots into the apartment next door.
So how do you get away with that? There's kids in those other apartments too. I didn't shoot through any walls with kids in there, but I went to jail immediately.
Kenneth Walker was charged with attempted murder of a police officer for allegedly shooting Sergeant John Mattingly during the deadly police raid that killed Breonna Taylor. In May, those charges were dismissed. Walker hired attorney Romines and Frederick Moore to file a lawsuit against the Commonwealth of Kentucky and the city of Louisville,
Put your hands behind your head.
claiming police misconduct.
They break into his house, they kill his girlfriend, they frame him for it to cover it up, and then when that cover-up falls apart because it is so pathetic and so inconsistent with the evidence, the case is dismissed and the charges go away. He's supposed to say thank you? No. There has to be a consequence, and if Daniel Cameron won't hold him responsible, we will in the civil case.
Fred, you're a member of the legal team, but you're also one of Kenny's childhood friends.
He really does, build his life on protecting others and comforting others. So it sucks to see someone you've known their entire life hurting.
He was 27 years old, never really been involved in the criminal justice system at all. And all of a sudden, the police say that they announce and he decides at, 1 o'clock in the morning, I think I'm going to decide tonight to shoot at a cop. It just doesn't make any sense. It's why, a dozen witnesses, neighbors, all said they never heard him announce as police.
But there's one witness.
Well, but initially he told police in his recorded interview they did not announce they were police. But what's really even more important in that regard, Gayle, is there are 3 911 calls made from that night.
911 operator guide, where is your emergency?
Please get a police down here. They are shooting bad.
Every single person says, get the police here. They're shooting guns like crazy. And kind of the same way with Kenny's 911 call. Nobody who calls 911 says the police are here shooting. They all ask for the police to be sent over.
Louisville police targeted Taylor's apartment that night because they had been investigating her ex-boyfriend, Jamarcus Glover. But Walker's attorneys claim that the Louisville police obtained a search warrant for Taylor's home under false pretenses.
You have to go back to the beginning of the warrant that they executed that night was obtained with perjured testimony. There's no question that the postal inspector's office has confirmed that what was in the warrant is a lie. And let's don't.
And what was in the warrant that was a lie?
Breonna Taylor had been receiving suspicious packages at that address for Mr. Glover. That is included in the search warrant. The postal inspector specifically confirmed that is not true. Not only did I not tell them that, I specifically told them she had not received a suspicious package there.
What about the ballistics reports, Fred? I mean, Kenneth said he's not sure that he shot a police officer.
They're inconclusive. General Cameron, as much as he would like to say to you otherwise, has not come out and definitively proven that the bullet that was shot by Kenny actually hit Mattingly.
Who do you think shot Officer Mattingly, Fred?
I don't know, quite frankly. I'm not convinced based on the evidence that they have that it was Kenny. One of the officers says that as the door opened, bullets flew out towards me. We know that's not true either.
Because
So they
he
were
only fired the one shot.
Because Kenny only fired
Right,
one
one
shot.
shot,
So they were mistaken in their belief, and they were mistaken in the amount of force necessary that they needed to use against Kenny's one shot.
Why can't we just find the bullet that he fired and say, oh, here it is?
Well, that's a good question, because one of the body cam videos, you see a SWAT officer identify what he says is a 9mm slug on the ground.
The only casings look like 9 mils.
However, when the crime scene unit gets to the scene and starts documenting it, it's no longer there. As we've seen from multiple body cams that occurred after, they are entering an active crime scene that they are the suspects in.
Both sides, Steve, argue self-defense. Can both be true?
Let's be clear. Kenny's right to self-defense is unquestioned under Kentucky law. You are presumed to act in self-defense if you are in your own home. Do they have a right to self-defense? That's up for them to take to a jury. Unfortunately, Daniel Cameron says they don't ever have to do that.
In June, Louisville police released a nearly blank incident report from the night Taylor was fatally shot by officers. The report listed Taylor's injuries as none, despite the fact that the 26-year-old was shot at least 5 times during the deadly raid on March 13th. What did you guys think when you saw the incident report?
It's typical of the both incompetence and corruption that is throughout this case.
Okay, you filed a lawsuit against the state. What do you hope to get out of that?
No amount of money can, change the fact that she's gone. Like, that's all I really care about. I just want her name to live on. People ask me all the time what they can do for me. And I tell them, say her name. It's what you can do for me.
Breonna Taylor is her name. The Kentucky Attorney General's office, the Louisville Metro Police Department, and the attorneys for the 3 individual officers involved declined our request for interviews or comment. You know, guys, yesterday I called Tamika Palmer, who's Breonna's mother, because these stories, as you might imagine, are very triggering for all of them. Kenneth Walker had a very, very rough day yesterday. And of course, it was hard for her. I caught her when she was at a celebration of George Floyd's birthday. He would have been 47 yesterday. But she told me something I thought was really interesting. That night, she was on the scene because she's trying to find out where her daughter is. Breonna's EMT jacket is laying there, and one of the officers picked it up and said, one of our guys left this. And she says, no, that's my daughter's jacket. So they said she was an EMT. So they saw her name. They took out her, and it was filled with lip gloss because she said Breonna always wanted to look cute. She laughed when she said that. So, I mean, even they were sort of stunned to hear that she was an EMT. Wow. That's why when you see police officers, we showed yesterday on the body cam say so callously, she's done, as they're stepping over the body. It was heartbreaking for all of them to see
I was very interested to hear what the lawyers said about the warrant.
Yes, you raised that yesterday.
Yeah, because I really, to me, this starts with the warrant. Because if the warrant was falsely created, essentially, that's where this really began.
Exactly.
And you want to know what that crew of police officers were told before they went to that door, about what was going on there.
That's exactly right. And I keep going back to Kenneth Walker. I woke up thinking about him this morning because he was in jail. He couldn't go to the funeral because he'd been charged with attempted murder. So he feels he never, of the police officer, he never got a chance to say goodbye. And he said that's also part of the pain that he's dealing with. There's still so much more to this story. We will share more of our exclusive interview that we have with Kenneth Walker during a 1-hour special on BET. It's called Say Her Name, The Untold Story of Breonna Taylor. You can watch it Saturday at 6 o'clock Eastern on BET, which, by the way, is a division of Viacom CBS. We'll be right back.